you do for a living?
Well, I work at Transamerica. I oversee the production and recruiting and training of agents at Transamerica and World Financial Group.
How long have you been in the business?
I've been in business for 20 years.
And what has kept you in the business? What's your why?
It's funny. I think that my why, a lot of times people are like, it's my parents or my kids or my spouse, or whatever. And, my wife is not going to want for anything. Like we've done very well for a long time. So I feel like my why has shifted in a couple of aspects. First of all, I want to win at the highest levels. I want to help as many people as I possibly can. I'm the type of person that's like, you have to leave the world better than you found it. And once you stop working towards improving the world, then it's time for you to check out. And I don't feel I'm anywhere close to that. And then, we just had a daughter. She's 8 months old. And so she's definitely a renewed why on that front.
I love that. If you could go back 15, 17, 18 years ago and help your younger self accelerate your career to the success that you've had, what lesson or advice would you give?
I would probably say to go, it's funny, I've always been really big on the training end of things and on increasing my ability to earn. So I always went to every class, everything that the providers went to. But I feel like, this may be a shameless plug, but an organization like Finseca, like putting these workshops together and exposing, sort of the in-depth capabilities of the insurance industry, and also just all of the functions that can be performed that we sometimes don't talk about. Like I have a very holistic practice from like income analysis all the way to estate planning and cash flow management, everything in between. But being able to have, a greater depth of understanding of products like what Finseca brings to our industry, I would have joined an organization like Finseca a lot sooner. Shameless plug.
I love it.
Yeah.
So to those who are on the fence about joining, what's your message to them?
Well, first of all, I just being in these workshops, being in the general session, and having the exposure that I've had just over the last few days and getting a chance to go to Capitol Hill, I really feel like I'm successful in my field, but I feel like now it's time for me to be, at the tip of the spear, the edge of the sword of bringing this message to more advisors. And I think that our exposure to Finseca is really going to up our game all the way around. Everything from the production end of things to apprenticeship and training of our agents, all the way to just us representing, Transamerica and WFG as an agency. We're going to level up on all those aspects. So I really would encourage someone to be a part of that and drive our contribution in that area. Instead of stepping back and being an observer, I'm saying be a participant and work towards making it better.
Well said. You've been practicing all day?
I have a podcast.
You don't?
I do.
Oh, natural. It shows. It totally shows. Thank you.
Can I tell? I was going to tell what story of the.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Please.
So there's a couple of stories, and really important on Finseca. Number one, 20 years ago when I first got started, I asked my mentor if we could possibly help my parents. I knew that my mom and dad, they didn't want to talk to me about finances, but I knew that they needed help. So I brought my mentor, the lady that trained me, out to see my mom and dad. And they were like right in the middle. Like they were not super wealthy. They weren't super broke. They were upside down about $400 a month, and they didn't have anything in place. So when we sat down, she was able to like do a budget, get rid of some of high interest debt that they had, and then turn around and reposition some of their investments and so forth. And they went from negative $400 to positive $2,000 a month just in their initial consult, right? And I looked at that, and my dad reached across the table and he grabbed my hand. He said, "Son, I just want to thank you for giving your mom and I some hope." And from that point forward, I always saw that they were working hard towards digging themselves out of that hole. My dad passed away, but my mom, now she's a rep, she's an investment advisor, she has her own book of business, and she is now financially, independent, working in our family practice as a result of that meeting 20 years ago. And this industry is amazing. The opportunities are amazing. The products are incredible. And I really think that, I've spent the last 20 years prepping for the next 10. We're going to have a really, really great time. And, but that's my story of why I originally got into this. And I'm passionate about bringing that message to other families in the middle market. So.